Hey guys, welcome back to Twisted Nightmare Gaming. This is Twisted here today, and our cameraman this time is Tyler from my team of Team No Invite. Today we are profiling my OTT deck profile for Vanguard. I actually have a couple of differences in the deck than other people. Mainly because, one, I don't want to buy some extra cards, and two, it's been working fine in testing as it is. So I'm going to go and get started. You got your obvious starter, Laws and Mages. When you wrote upon, you just draw a card. Every OTT clan should be using that right now. You got your standard 2 Victorious Deer. Your Deer turns of when you Soul Blast your 2 Grade 3s and discard a card. Then you look at your top 7 cards, grab up to 2 criticals, put them on top of your deck, shuffle the remaining cards and put them on bottom, and then you get +10 to every unit on the board. One thing I like doing is 3 CEO Amaterasus. I know everyone else plays 4. I actually only play 8 Grade 3s. So I feel since I'm already playing 2 Deer, 3 Amaterasu should be enough because I still got to play Daughter. The Counterblast 1, draw a card, look at top card and put it on top bottom. What you're really trying to do is capitalize on her +5,000 effect. That's why we have that, as well as other cards in the deck that look at the top card. You got your 3 Imperial Daughter. When she's placed, look at the top 2 cards, put 1 in your hand, and put 1 either in your soul or back on top of your deck. And then if she was placed on top of a Grade 3, which you would be doing during a Deer turn, because those are called the Daughter Deer turns, you get an extra 15,000 power and a critical. And you can Soul Blast 1 to give another unit 6,000. I prefer to get that to Promise Daughter. And that's it for the Grade 3s. Speaking of Promise Daughter, here she is. I think she's actually just a staple in every Oracle Think Tank Plan deck right now. Because as long as you have 4 cards in your hand during your turn, she's a 15k swinger, and she can't be retired by your opponent's card effects. And with the new Shadow Paladin deck out, when they force you to choose one of your units to retire, you can just choose her, because she can't be retired, but she can be chosen by the effect. And then with the 6,000 boost from Imperial Daughter, when swinging, she's 21,000, and I think that's really handy, because then you're pretty much guaranteed to always hit the 13k force guys. Get you got 3 Yellow Witch memes. She's one of the ones that when placed on the rear guard, you can look at top card of your deck, the power up your CEO Amaterasu another 5,000, and just put it on top or bottom. You got your Goddess of Insights, Tsuruhime. When she attacks a Vanguard, you counterblast 1, draw a card, and then discard a card from your hand, and she gets +6,000 power. So she's already 15,000 and able to hit most force Vanguards as is. And then on top of that, if your Vanguard's a Grade 3 when you use its ability, you can look at the top card of your deck again and choose to place it on top or bottom. So during Amaterasu turns, if I did use her effect, if I did use the Amaterasu effect to put the top card on the bottom, I'll go ahead and swing with her first, so I can look at my top card and check it for any triggers or any other cards I may need. And if not, put it on top or bottom, and then Amaterasu and hers gets another 5,000, and she gets +6 on top of that. I like to play Battle Sister Tort. The main reason for Battle Sister Tort is just for pressure. I think she's good like most mid game if you do have the cards in hand. Because if you, during a Deer turn, if you have her and 10 or more cards in hand, or will have 10 or more cards in hand after you swing with your Vanguard, you can give the crits to her, because they're most likely going to block your Vanguard at that point. And then she just has extra pressure, extra crits, more power. And that's it for the Grade 2s. I play, I believe, 11. You got your standard Circle Magus that you want to start, that's your preferred ride on top of Laws and Mages. That when she's rode upon, just like Laws and Mages, you can counterblast 1 and draw a card. I don't really use her other ability at all when you check it. When your drive check reveals a Grade 2 to put it on bottom unless I absolutely have to. Apart from that, I tend to just keep her in hand because I really just want to ride her for my starting unit. Otherwise, I just hold her for shield typically. You got your Farfell Magus. which just like the yellow witch means. Mayonnaise, you can look at the top card and put it on top or bottom. I just play it at 3, just like that, yellow witch. I got your 3 goddess of the times, Mizuno Haname. When you're at 3 or more damage, she's always a 14,000 booster to your Vanguard. So that way, when Vanguard swings, you are at minimum of 26,000. And with if Amaterasu is your Vanguard, she's probably going to be higher than that. But you got a minimum of 26, which I believe forces at least 2 cards out of hand to guard from your opponent. I played the other promo as well, the Goddess of Forbearance. However you pronounce this name. From the rear guard, and I prefer to only use this early game because if it's late game, I don't want to use it because I'm losing resources at that point. You counterblast 1 and retire her. You draw 3 cards, and then at the end of your turn, you have to discard 3 cards. I do like her. Like I said, just early game because it helps you dig through your deck at that point to get, say, a grade 3 that you want or another grade 2. And it just really helps your resources count because you can end up swapping. And then the last grade 1 that I play is 2 Oracle Guardian Geminis for the toss in the soul and counterblast one. I mean counter charge one. That's it. And then you got your standard trigger lineup of 4 heals, 4 draws, and you got your 8 crits. That's pretty much it for my deck profile. Again, the only reason I really play the grade 3s at 8 is I just don't want to buy any more of the cards, and in testing it's working as is. And one of my and just so you know, a really good turn early game is after you've ridden Daughter on top of a grade 3 and you have a deer. If you have the Goddess of Forbearance and the Torch, this will net you 3 cards because at this point, if the game's going well enough, you can end up drawing 3. When you swing with her, you reveal the crits that revealed. You get the Torch because they're blocked. They're gonna perfect guard your Daughter, and then you just go in because at that point by herself, I believe she should be around 38 to 44,000, especially if you gave her the 6K, and she'll have 4 crits on. She'll be swinging in for 4 damage. And if they don't have a perfect card, they're dropping a lot of hand at that point because you also got your booster with it, which is going to be giving it an additional 18,000 on top of that. So it's going to swing for up to 62,000 points of damage. Well, power. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, that was beautiful.
You can stop.
What just happened to your board?
And this has been Twist Nightmare Gaming, and I hope you guys have a good one. Take care.